why do traditional data quality tools fail when it comes to handling time series data?
Yeah, well, relational tools, they check tables typically, right? We don't need tools that check tables, we need tools that understand physics. If you talk a sensor, you talk first principles, you talk physics. You're measuring something, a flow, a pressure, a temperature. And the nature of time series data is that different, and you also have then also the point of causality. Maybe a flow is increasing and it can have an impact where also temperature 1 hour later will increase. So the nature of time series data is completely different than tables. And there's the whole paradox. Classical data quality tools that are managed by data teams, typically IT centric, for them, the data often looks normal. What do I mean with that? Well, they check if the data is fresh, this data is coming in at a normal rate, and if the schema, for example, of the database hasn't been changed. If that is valid, for them the data is perfectly fine, right? But maybe that same data flowing in from that sensor or thousands of millions of sensors is behaving strangely. Things I already mentioned, like you can see outliers, flat lines in normal ranges, but also subtle things like oscillations, subtle drifts over longer terms. I can name so many things that can go wrong, and they are depending on the physics if it's okay or not. Indeed, if you refer to drift, if you detect a subtle drift, well, it can be maybe that your sensor is degrading, aging, the fouling, a lot can go wrong. But again, for IT, the data looked perfect because the schema was perfect and the data came in at a normal rate. And that indeed means why sensor data is different, because the IT stakeholders, they cannot judge that all the time. They need to go to the operations people or to understand that sensor to judge, oh, is the sensor now reliable in this situation? Yes or no? And then indeed you have the most important thing here to extra mention is, you talk data quality. Data quality has a narrative of it's an IT thing or it's a data thing. But if indeed a sensor is flatlining, and that flatlining is not because the data is not coming in anymore, the sensor was really broken. Whose problem is that? Well, the sensor is broken, somebody needs to repair or needs to replace it. That's again an operational problem. It needs to be replaced by the E&I persons, the instrumentation people. And that's not data quality, but it's detected by a data quality platform. And that is why indeed it's so a different animal, and that we cannot expect modern data quality tools to play a role in the OT or in the IoT stack, because it has a dual role there. Like I said, it can be a pure data problem, yes, but it can also be a sensor problem, and that can only be judged by people understanding the data. And that is the difficulty in treating sensor data.